we have a problem in our community, and the community will not change unless us, the individuals, the citizens within that community, is willing to make the change. I am not the complete solution, but I would prefer to be a part of the solution. So that's what made me come up with Dukes Inc. Dukes Inc. is focused on workshops to help the citizens, because I talk to these people I live next door to. I talk to the citizens within these communities that I'm focused on helping, which is the minority communities, because I ask them, what do you feel is missing here in our community? I don't worry about nobody else's community. I can only worry about where I lay my head at. And they told me they have no options in life. No options.
I want to welcome everyone to this podcast. It's called the Booked and Brilliant Podcast. It's a podcast for freelancers, female freelancers who are doing everything they can to be heard and seen, but have not been heard and seen. And a lot of female freelancers out there have been shortchanged and are not getting what they're supposed to get. They are not getting the benefits they're supposed to get after hustling and toiling to nurture a skill that should put money in their pockets or in their bank accounts. But at this point, what do you do when you are doing everything right but still feel invisible? When you are gifted, when you qualified, when you are passionate, and yet the clients you expect don't come. The money isn't flowing and your dreams feel stuck in your notebook. So today we have a fantastic guest with us. We have Tiffany Tompkins, and she's not just a bookkeeper. She's a woman with a mission to serve business owners with excellence and to uplift the people of Memphis, especially those in the society who tend to be forgotten. At this point, I know she has her struggles. I know she has what she's struggling with at this point. But you see, she's doing everything she can, doing the right things and expecting big results. Now, if you have ever felt unseen, underpaid, or emotionally exhausted from trying to make it while building something meaningful, this episode is for you. This episode will touch your soul. It will touch your spirit because Tiffany's story is probably yours too. So on this note, I want to welcome Tiffany Tompkins. Tiffany, you are welcome to Book and Brilliant Podcast. How has your day been?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So how has your day been?
It's a day. It's going good. A little bumpy in the beginning, but it's going good as can be. How's your day?
Oh, my day has been fantastic, very eventful actually. So, yes, you are a bookkeeper, and
Yes.
it's something that you've been doing over the years. But let's rewind. Let's have a backstory. Let's hear your backstory. Like, what were you doing before you started bookkeeping? Before the non-profit organization that you started, who were you? And what did life look like before you took this leap?
Well, backstory is I'm a mother of 5. When I first started on my journey, I did a lot of different types of jobs, from working in an office, working in construction, carpentry. I've done different jobs that were mostly male dominated industries. And for the most part, I loved everything I've ever done. But what made me really sit down and really think of a proper career for me that would be something I would love to do that would not bring the dread, the morning commute dreads. Oh my God, I have to go to work. I thought it all through. I love numbers. I love reading. So my goal was to settle down and go to college. I went to college. I got my degree, but I've always had a type of job where, like, when I was the office manager, I had to do payroll. I had to do the scheduling. I had to make sure everything was in compliance. Then I did an HR position one time. I was director of HR at a nursing staffing company. And that, of course, has payroll, bookkeeping aspects. And I was like, well, I'm doing all these different positions with the basic foundation of it being bookkeeping. So I was like, well, I'm work for everybody else. Now it's time for me to build a foundation to leave to my generations, my future generations. So that's what made me focus and establish Tompkins Bookkeeping. Tompkins Bookkeeping was originally established just to get by, but I saw it could be more. I could help more. So that's what made me stay dedicated and stay loyal to bookkeeping, to accounting principles. I love to help people. I love to be, how can you say, a money saver for business owners, and to teach them how to strategically run their businesses where it's a profit and not a loss. So that's what it made me say, okay, this is my goal. This is my dream. It's not a dream job because it's my career and I love it. I don't have no dread. When I talk to my children, my nieces and nephews and my grandchildren about my career, they could tell I love it. I'm full of smiles. I'm happy, and it's encouraging to them. That makes them want to stay focused on their dreams and their goals. So that's how that started.
That's fantastic and very inspiring. But I want to know, like, a lot of people out there don't know the importance of bookkeeping. Most people see bookkeeping, especially this generation, they see
Mhm.
bookkeeping as old school. They don't know the importance of having bookkeeping in their businesses, especially small and medium enterprises. Some of
Right.
them struggle with bookkeeping because they don't know the rudiments of bookkeeping. So, can you enlighten us what bookkeeping is all about? Like, for instance, if someone who doesn't know anything about bookkeeping, and then let them know the importance of bookkeeping in their businesses.
Yes. Okay, bookkeeping is important because of a few reasons. It's not just one or two, it's a few reasons. One, normally entrepreneurs and small business, as you said, they do not understand bookkeeping principles. So their books are not in order. And that later brings problems because if you do not categorize your expenses, your assets, and your long term expenses, you really don't know your cash flow, which is your money, where it's going and where it's coming from, because nothing's in order. Okay. When your books are in order and you go to look at your balance sheet or your cash flow, it tells you exactly where your funds are coming from and where your funds are going. Along with that, you have bookkeepers are also responsible for making sure your taxes are in order, like your tax payments every quarter. Your business, any business, has to send in tax payments to the government. That is how they record and basically make sure your money is doing what it's supposed to do. They monitor how much you make. Based upon how much you make, that's about how much you're supposed to send in. Not the exact amount, it's a percentage. I'm not going to go into extreme details about it. But if you have a proper bookkeeper, your bookkeeper can organize your books and your payroll. Your payroll is a part of your taxes because you have to pay a certain percentage of your payroll taxes to the government as well. So basically, if you don't have your money in order, you don't know where you can invest more or where you need to take away from investing. Because I've seen businesses, they're so busy focused on marketing that they're not paying attention to their equipment. And the equipment is falling to pieces, but your marketing is A1. So you have to monitor. Bookkeepers monitor. We monitor your income, your outgoing, because if you don't know where your money's going, you're going to lose some money. This is how a lot of people steal from businesses, because they're not focused on where their money's going. They're just making sure they're making money. But it's more to running a business than just making money. You have more investments, long-term investments, and short-term, like your rent, your light bill, stuff like that. Everything has a proper order. And our job is to make sure your accounts are in those orders and your taxes. And if you have a real good bookkeeper, they can simplify it for you and automate it for you to where you can understand it properly, because you're going to have meetings, face to faces, where your bookkeeper is to break down the process and where your funds are going and coming from. And a lot of people don't do that. They just feel like, oh, they got it, it's okay. No, when it comes to your money, you are to be fully involved as an owner, founder, sole proprietor. You are to, okay, yes, the bookkeeper has a job, but you as the owner, as the key person, you need to be involved. And a good bookkeeper will say that to an entrepreneur, to a business owner. We need to meet whether it's every month, every quarter, however they choose to do it. Bookkeeping is very important, because when you get audited, and randomly the IRS will audit your business, or if they see like it's too many unstable occurrences on your returns, they will come and audit, because they want to see why your business is unstable. Why? Because they pay attention to patterns. And once the pattern gets thrown off or becomes suspicious, here comes the audit. And if you have a good bookkeeper, that's not a worry, right? But when you don't take care of your books and organize everything as you're supposed to, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when you worry, because people know in their heart of hearts if they've done a good job or not. A good bookkeeper, if an audit comes up, they're ready because everything's in order. So all they have to do is turn in the information, which will take, as long as everything's in order, you have nothing to worry about. But bookkeeping is the core to a business financial function, because that person, male, woman, whatever, that bookkeeper's sole job is to do the 12 steps of accounting and to prepare your books, your finances, and your investments, all of it. It's their job to make sure it's in order, it's legit, well, legal, I apologize. Make sure it's legal, and make sure you're within correct standings with the government's qualifications for your company. Because different businesses do have different laws, right? So, perfect example, a gas station books do not go how a furniture company books would go. There are different aspects and different items that would be purchased or sold compared to gas. Gas is more of a container, weight, things of that nature. Whereas furniture is different items, different, how can I say it? Different materials have to be purchased. So the different materials have to go in different categories. So it's based on your bookkeeper and their knowledge. because a bookkeeper has to always continue their education um, to stay within good standings with the government. And if they're not, they will not know the different changes that the government makes to different rules. Because the government changes rules more than people would think they do. They think rules get changed maybe every time a different president comes in. No, Congress votes regularly throughout the year. So different things are voted upon. And that's why you have to continue your education to make sure you are properly aware and prepared for your client.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you made mention of the gas station and furnitures. They have different bookkeeping strategies. So let's
Correct.
talk about online businesses, right?
Okay.
Other online businesses. Is this does this also apply? Is this applicable to online business owners too? Online business CEOs?
Yes. I'm going to tell you why real quick. I'm going to try and make it real quick.
Okay.
Okay. When you buy equipment, like the cameras, the lights, different backgrounds, when you get your hair and makeup done, all those are expenses for you to be prepared for your shows or whatever you're doing online. When you have to pay for marketing, advertisement, when you're doing different events and you have to put funds towards those events, whether it's flyers, banners, all those are categories within your assets and expenses. And that's why bookkeeping is so important, because if you don't know, you can honestly say, I don't know about that. That's where the bookkeeper comes in. The bookkeeper, normally before we take a client, we do an intake form, okay? And the intake form gathers information about the future client that you're talking to. Now, like perfect example, you're running your podcast, right?
Yeah.
So if you have staff, a person that's doing your lighting, cleaning your space when you're not in the podcast area, those are expenses of your business, right? So if somebody doesn't know, you wouldn't know. Like you getting your makeup done and your hair done to be on your podcast, that's an expense that you can write off on your taxes. But if you don't know that, how are you going to write it off, right? That's why we're important as a profession. A lot of people want to say, oh, I don't need a bookkeeper. But when you have more than 5 expenses and you have maybe 1 or 2 assets, you need to make sure you are properly calculating your funds. And that's where we come in, because we're not only calculating your funds and where they're going, but we also are the ones to propose better strategies for you. Uh, oh my God. Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear
Can
you.
you
Don't
see
worry.
me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. It
Yeah.
just went fleet. But that's our job. Our job is to find money saving strategies for clients, tax saving strategies for our clients. We are the ones, like for me, I am not only a bookkeeper, I am also a tax professional. I do strategic tax planning for my clients.
Can you take it
I've had,
again? Can you repeat again?
oh, I not only am I a bookkeeper, but I am a tax professional. I do strategies for my clients to save them money on their taxes. As I was explaining before, some things are able to be written off on your taxes to save you money. But if you don't know that, how are you going to get those savings, right? That's why I said your bookkeeper, if they're a good one, they will have multiple strategies for you where you can pick, because not every strategy is for everyone, right? So you have to make sure you can give your client more than one strategy. Perfect example. I had a client that was a restaurant owner in Maryland, and she, oh my, she, um, she was taking tax money but not turning it in from her employees, right?
Yeah.
And when she came to me, my job was, because I met her through a third party, and she needed help, and I had to inform her, you took tax money out of your employees' pay, but you did not send it to the government. That's a no-no.
Wow.
That's a no-no. So I came up with a proper strategy for her and for her employees, where you have, where we accomplish solving the problem of having to owe the IRS. Instead, I made the O go down, where they didn't owe as much money to the government, and they wasn't looking, how can I say it, suspicious to the government, right? Because everybody makes mistakes. Like, she didn't know if she took the tax money and didn't send it in, that was a no-no. She thought as an employer, she would just have to deal with it at tax time. And I had to inform her, not only as a bookkeeper, as a tax professional, that's a big no-no, one, but we can offset it to where you would not have to owe, right? And that's for her as well as her employees. So that's why I say a good tax professional, they will have more than one strategy for you. They will present it, and you as the owner, you will be able to say, okay, we'll go with this plan, or we'll go with that plan. You know, people think all we do is count money. That's it. No, we have way more. Like, for us as bookkeepers, we have more rules on us than the average entrepreneur, because we are dealing with people's finances and their businesses' well-being. We have more responsibility, and if we violate those responsibilities, we will be in trouble way more than our clients, because it's our duty and our job to make sure we give the best to our clients.
Wow. That's really amazing. That is detailed and very enlightening. I even learned something new here. So now let's talk about the moment in your life that made you realize that bookkeeping and HR weren't just skills for you, that this was your calling. What time of your life did you experience that moment that this is not just a skill, but also a calling for you?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I had hit a low point in life where I lost everything. And it was because of certain factors in life. And the only way to really overcome a heavy situation is to really think about what you've been through in life, what you're doing in life, and what your future goals in life are, right? For me, I've always been an overthinker. So when I sit down and make plans and do detailed thoughts, just critical thinking, I have to do it level for level, step for step, and even by steps. Because sometimes you will take a left and you need to go right. So I have to think of all those. But one day, about, I want to say 12 years ago to be exact, I was at a low point. I was sitting at one of my friends' houses, and we were talking, because I try to stay around people that are goal orientated and on the same mindset. That way it kind of helps to keep me focused, keep me more stable mentally and emotionally when I'm trying to accomplish any goal, whether it's just trying to do my LLC or get a client. I try to stay around people of the same mindset. So I was sitting at my friend's house, and actually, like I said, it was a low point in life. And I was just sitting down, and I sat and I wrote down my past experiences, my present experiences, and my goals, and how could I achieve those goals. Well, two of those goals, I've already been good with numbers. I actually have an uncle. He was the head accountant at NASA. He retired. Him and his wife retired. My aunt, they was high school sweethearts. They're still together today.
Wow.
She opened her own accounting firm. And when they used to come visit us when I was young, they used to always tell me, you're good with numbers. You should look into accounting when you grow up. And when I was younger, I used to rebel a lot. And I was a rebel without a cause sometimes. But
Wow.
it helped me. Because I'm like, look, I'm good with numbers. I love learning things. Like the continuing education is a good factor for me because I'm constantly learning something new. And that really helped me. Okay, well, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. After you get to a certain point in life, you no longer want to be at anybody's mercy, right? And when you have a regular 9 to 5, a lot of people that works their 9 to 5, I'm not knocking a 9 to 5, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people dread those 9 to 5s that they work. They're solely there just to have an income to pay bills, right?
True.
But me, myself personally, I always liked it being independent. I've always liked it working for myself, but helping people. And bookkeeping is that factor for me. It helps people when they really need it because your finances are your everything. Without your finances, what do you have? Nothing. So if you can find somebody that can help you like me, we do our best. We always put our best foot forward. And becoming an entrepreneur and becoming a bookkeeper, I literally thought of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, wanted to work for myself. I actually thought of what did I want to do as an entrepreneur? Bookkeeping. So that therefore I had to sit down and really plan how to become a bookkeeper legally, well educated, well informed. So that's where college comes in. I went to college. I graduated. I got references from my professors. I made sure I always did my best. That's what made my professors look at me. They really paid attention to me. Even though, no offense, I was the oldest one in my class. I'm no spring chicken, but I love young people because they have all that energy.
Yeah.
And that's what kept me focused because I had young classmates. They would ask me certain questions and my professor would be like, Tiffany, answer it for them. Tiffany, get with your classmates and help them. And I would. And that's what really let me know I was really, truly going into the right field, the right profession. I love what I do. No aspect of being a bookkeeper is a dreadful moment for me. Not even when it's tax season. I do not feel dreadful at all. I'm always full of hope, full of esteem, full of confidence, ready to help and build. So that's what made me become a bookkeeper, wanting to be able to help people and also do something that I love to do.
Hey beautiful, a quick pause before we dive in. Now, if you are a female freelancer, an online business owner, or a service provider, and you are listening to this right now, especially if you have been doing the work but struggling to attract high-paying clients, I'm talking of premium clients, guess what? I've got something exciting for you, just for you. Now, I'm currently featuring female freelancers on the Booked and Brilliant podcast to help you share your story, to help you build visibility, and also attract high quality clients who respect your time, who respect your values, who respect your services, right? And also, as a bonus, I'm giving away my brand new ebook. It's called The 5-Step Guide to Attracting Premium Clients. It's perfect for women ready to stop undercharging and start positioning themselves like pros. So if you want this ebook, it's simple. Just join the Cash Flow for Her community today through the link on your screen. And if you'd love to also be a guest on the show, I'd love you to DM me on Facebook, and I'd love to spotlight your story, right? So right about now, let's get back into the episode, and I'll see you in the community.
Okay, so now let's talk about your non-profit. What's the story behind your non-profit organization? What exactly did you witness or go through that made you say, I have to do something about this situation?
I'm going to be honest. That's a little sad, so brace yourself. Okay. Starting in March of this year, I had lost my cousin. My grandson was shot. He's 5. He was in a car. He was nowhere near supposed to have been a victim, right? So my grandson got shot. He's alive, but he got hurt. That was the first incident. Then my cousin, my female cousin, was found deceased in Georgia.
Wow.
Then my nephew, he had a bad heart. He passed away a week before Easter Sunday.
Oh my God.
We buried him the day before Easter Sunday, this past Easter. The next day, my son's father was killed.
Oh my God.
On Easter Sunday. And in between those personal family related deaths, I had 2 deaths of close friends that I had known for years. They passed away, like literally one passed away on a Wednesday and the other one passed away on that Friday, same week. So my thought process to start the nonprofit Dukes Inc. was, we have a problem in our community, and the community will not change unless us, the individuals, the citizens within that community, is willing to make the change. I am not the complete solution, but I would prefer to be a part of the solution than to continue to act like there's no problem within our community, or to even just look at the problem and still have nothing to say, do. So that's what made me come up with Dukes Inc. Dukes Inc. is focused on workshops to help the citizens, because I talk to these people I live next door to. I talk to the citizens within these communities that I'm focused on helping, which is the minority communities, because I ask them, what do you feel is missing here in our community? I don't worry about nobody else's community. I can only worry about where I lay my head at. And they told me they have no options in life. No options. Meaning people can go to work, but they're miserable, right? And here in the South, nobody cares about the colored community, okay? And the colored community has been a victim here in the South for centuries, okay? And if we as a people do not stand up and do our best to help our own people, what are we doing? We're not doing nothing. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching these people go to work. They're miserable. They're unhappy. They're sad. They're depressed. It's a lot of things lacking in the Black communities. And my goal with Dukes Inc. is not only to be able to provide them with different types of workshops to teach them different skills, like bookkeeping, carpentry, how to cultivate their land to grow things, how to be able to function within a family. It's a lot of key elements of the Black family that is missing in our Black culture over here. But nobody is speaking up. Nobody is taking action. And that's where me and Dukes Inc. and a couple of associates of mine come in. We're doing the workshops. We're doing the etiquette classes. We're doing the cultivation classes, the entrepreneurial workshops. Because if we don't do it for our own people, who's going to do it? Nobody.
Yeah.
And if we don't show that we can love not only ourselves, but our communities, everybody's going to laugh at us as a people, as a community. And I no longer want that for my people. I'm sitting here, I feel the pain. I feel the hurt. I it's a lot of mental health issues within our community. And nobody is discussing it or talking about it because everybody's afraid to admit it. And that's where I and my associates come in. We're letting it be known it is okay to not only love yourself, your mental, your spiritual, your emotional. We want people to know if we cannot help them exactly ourselves, we point them into the right direction to get the proper help and services. And that's why I do what I do. I have family. I have friends. I have loved ones. I have neighbors that I've seen that need, whether it's emotional help, mental help, or just being able to learn about self-care.
Yeah.
This is what we need in our community. So this is my step and my foundation that I've built to do this step. Hopefully it will bring more, more people to help with these steps and show people it's okay to say, I'm not okay and I need help.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, I'm also emotional right here. Like, your story it's so inspiring. It's very emotional. Like, I'm almost close to tears. Like, I had to really control myself right here. I totally understand how you feel and what you're going through at the moment. I can't even imagine that you can still smile and you don't even look like you've been through what you have been through. It shows that you are extremely strong, like you're a very strong woman, that a lot of young women out there should be looking up to you because there's so much experience you've had, not just as a business owner, but as a woman, as a mom. Your struggles, your challenges, your wins, your successes, your losses is a lot to learn from. But you see, which make me wonder, like, what's something you secretly wish people knew about the weight you carry as a solopreneur right now?
My main wish, honestly, besides having decent clients, my goal is to literally reach the epitome of my life, which is to always be a solid foundation for my people. My people is a major concern for me because if we can't get these current two generations together, the next 5 are going to be drastic. There will be no help. There will be no solutions. And my goal and my true dream is just to be the best me I can be and to be able to help those who need my help.
what does it feel like when you've poured so much into people, but still you don't feel seen and supported?
I feel sad, and sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I feel unappreciated. And I myself personally, when I do accomplish helping someone, it makes me feel wonderful. But when I don't necessarily need the credit, but the acknowledgement that I am working my hardest and my best, then I feel good and I feel happy. But if I cannot get that little bit of recognition, it really makes me sad and it hurts me. And I don't necessarily need the credit, but the acknowledgement that I tried. That's what I really prefer.
How do you handle the emotional toll of serving a mission bigger than you right now, while still trying to survive as a businesswoman?
Honestly, I look at the good aspects of it, of life, and that kind of, it's like, when they say when you're having nightmares and they tell you think good thoughts before you go to sleep, it prevents it. So that's what I do. I think good thoughts and I think about the good that I'm doing, and it helps to make me feel better and stay stable. And that's how I keep my emotions under control. Because I look at my grandchildren, I look at my nieces and nephews and my great nieces and nephews, and that helps to keep me stable and emotionally stable, because I know no matter what I go through now, it's for the betterment of them. It's for the betterment of our future generations. That's how I hold on and stay calm.
Have you ever felt guilty for wanting to make more money while also doing work that serves your community at the same time?
Honestly, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm going to tell you why. We all have to pay rent and bills, mortgages, car notes, insurance, right? And one thing my professor, my microeconomics professor used to tell us, you always make sure you know your value and your worth.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you don't know your value and your worth, you will be undermined, you will be taken advantage of, and you will be hurt.
Thank you, Mama. Say it out loud. Say it out loud so that other freelancers can hear this and learn from it.
Right. You have to know your value. You have to know your worth. But see, not only know it, but you have to exude it, and you have to stand strong on it. You have to let them know, look, this is what you want, these services. I can perform them just fine, but this is the value of my worth, my work. This is what is the value mark. And people will try you. Don't get me wrong. People will try. But it's on you to stand strong and not let those people continue to use you. Once you see it's a problem and they're trying to use you, it is your duty to yourself, not only as an entrepreneur, but to yourself and your well-being, to stand strong on your terms. And you will lose some clients, but the right clients will stay. And that's how you know you're doing a good job.
Now, I want to ask one question. If someone offered to take all the back end off your plate, what would you finally have space to do?
If I could get that taken care of, I would have space to focus more on reaching out within my community, because in order for the community thing to go well, you have to be in the community. You can't just do a few posts or a few videos. You have to actually be out there with the people. In order for them to learn who you are, what you're about, and understand your goal and vision, you have to spend time with the people. And if I could get that under control, the back end you were talking about, if I could get that under control, then I could focus more on my nonprofit and the charity part of the nonprofit. Because without us being able to reach out in the community and to show the community we are here, we are ready, and we are helping them, and we're ready to help them, that it takes time. And if you don't have the time because you're focused on other things, you can't accomplish that. So that's what I would do with that freed up time.
So to wrap up right now, I want to ask one last question. Like, what's one thing you are ready to surrender right now so you can finally get to the next level?
One thing I'm ready to surrender right now.
Yeah.
I can give up almost everything if it'll help my goal. I have learned holding on to material things will not accomplish your goal. And a lot of goals that are met were met through sacrifice, sweat, tears, bloodshed, whatever the sacrifice was. And at this point, and me trying to achieve my goals, I can pretty much hand over everything as long as it's achieving the appropriate goals.
This has been a very powerful session. I kid you not. I would say this is the most powerful session I've ever had. If you listen to this episode and you are moved, don't just scroll by. Tiffany is brilliant. I kid you not. She's committed. She's building something that changes lives. If you're a business owner in need of HR, human resources, or bookkeeping support, someone who gets the big picture and the small details, wherever you are in the world, because this is not just streamlined to Memphis right now. Wherever you are in the world, whether you have an online business, you have an offline business, Tiffany is your person. I personally recommend her because she is not just good in bookkeeping. She's well read. She has her onions. She has gone through the processes, the educational aspects, the practical aspects. She has been in this for over 15 years of her life. So she has the technical know-how to bookkeeping. And whether you have an online business or an offline business, if you do not have a bookkeeper, you are not doing right. You are not paying your taxes. You are not doing what you're supposed to do. If you are in need of a bookkeeper, Tiffany is right there for you. I'm going to display her information on the screen right now. I'll need you to quickly, wherever you are right now, sign her up. That's her information. You can connect with Tiffany Tompkins via Facebook, right? It's Tompkins Bookkeeping Services. She's on Instagram at Tompkins Bookkeeping. And also you can reach her through her emails, tiffanyDukes41@gmail.com. And you can also reach her on Tompkins Bookkeeper Owner @gmail.com. This has been a fantastic session, really. If you're a donor, a collaborator, or just someone who believes in second chances, follow her nonprofit and support the mission. She needs every support, any kind of support you have. Nothing is too small, nothing is too big. The community of Memphis need help at this point, and she has sacrificed herself, sacrificed her time, her life, to make a difference. She might not be able to to make the complete difference, but she has chosen to be part of the difference. I'd love you to connect with her right now. Wherever you are, pick up your phones. Send an email to Tiffany Dukes. Send her a DM on Facebook. She will reply you immediately. You can also reach her on her phone number. I forgot to put the phone number. The phone number is 901. I'll just say it, 901-609-6536. 901-609-6536. You can reach her on calls if you are in Ohio, if you're in Tennessee right now, you're in Memphis, wherever you are right now, you can reach her immediately. Let's show Tiffany the power of being seen. And let's remind every freelancer listening, your work matters. And she has made this very clear, like she did the entire work here. Your work matters, but you don't have to carry it alone, right? Tiffany, thank you so much for today. I am really moved. I was moved by your story, and I sincerely sympathize with you. And I trust that God will replenish you. He will wipe your tears. He would surprise you. He will fill your heart with love. You will be surrounded with so much love that it will cover up for the losses that you've had. I just want to take a breath here because what you shared today was deep, was real, was raw and human and deeply needed. A lot of women out there are in stranded situations. They need help, but they don't know what to do. Some they've lost their minds, they've lost interest in the skills that they've had, they've dumped whatever they've learned, and they don't know how to move forward. You've reminded us all that behind the title of being a freelancer, being a founder or a bookkeeper, is a heart that's trying to serve. A woman carrying more than most will ever know, and a dream that's not just about income but about impact, which is what moved me. And if you are listening to this episode right now, if you are on this podcast, I want you to hear this. Tiffany is not just building a business, she is building a safe space for her clients, for returning citizens of Memphis, and for everyone who's ever felt unseen despite your brilliance. She's not asking for handouts. She's showing up every day, ready to serve. All she needs right now is to be seen, is to be heard, is to be supported, to be truly valued and partnered with. So wherever you are, I'm inviting you to do this. If you're a business owner tired of messing away with your books, you have a messy book, you're confused, you have a confused HR headache, you don't know how to handle your HR services, Tiffany is your go-to for your bookkeeping. She's your go-to for HR. If you believe in second chances and uplifting your community, I want you to support her nonprofit work. If her story resonates with you, if her story has moved you, you've listened to her and you can relate to what she has shared in this episode, I want you to share this episode, share this live, let it go to the ends of the earth if possible. Let's help her voice go further than her pain ever did. Right? So, Tiffany, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being brave enough to share your vulnerability, to share this part of your journey. Most people actually hide. You've poured out into us today, and we have learned. And I believe the right people will now pour back into you. They will find you, they will pour back into you, because this is not your breaking point. This is your breakthrough, right? Yes. And to every woman listening right now who has been grinding in silence, exhausted from trying to be everything for everyone, you are not alone. You are not invisible. And just like Tiffany, you deserve to be booked. You deserve to be brilliant. So thank you so much, Tiffany. I'm so happy to have you on this podcast. Until next time, keep shining, even when it feels like no one is watching, because your light, someone somewhere needs it. Someone somewhere needs to hear it, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sister.
Tiffany, thank you so much.